Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the episode. We're going to have a very exciting guest on the channel today, the amazing Aleksey Reyes photographer. He's an original social media, photographer, pioneer. He's been at it for a long time. He's worked with amazing brands like Converse, Netflix. Um, and he's going to come on here with me today and talk about using social media as a photographer or as an artist, how to stand out as a photographer, how to get ahead of the game, how the tide is changing, how it's been, what you can do as a brand new photographer starting out to get your name out there and start building more clients and just getting more opportunities all around and having social media be a positive experience. Here he is. I'll be linking his work below and all that, but introducing Aleksey, take it away.
Hey y'all, my name's Aleksey. I am a 22-year-old photographer. I live in Houston, Texas, but I'm originally from Mexico. And yeah, I make a lot of work. It's very colorful and intentional. So a lot of stuff about culture, identity, and I'm excited to talk to y'all today about just like being a photographer on social media because I grew up on social media, so have a little different perspective. And yeah, let's get into like some questions about social media.
What year did you start posting your work, and what platform did you first, start using?
I started posting on Instagram in 2014, so about 10 years ago now. Like it's been a
Golly,
while.
10 years, bro?
It's been a while. It's been like a journey for sure, and there's just so much like change throughout the years, like so much involvement and kind of adapting to the new platforms. But yeah, Instagram was my first platform. And
10 years, dude? Was MySpace, wait, what was it? Was Model Mayhem still a thing back there?
no, what the hell is
You
that?
never heard of that?
No, it was like only Instagram. I think Vine had just died, so I was like not on there. But like
Damn, dude, if you would've been posting your photography on Vine, that would've been crazy, bro. I mean, you're younger than me. You would've been, like, 7 years old.
no way. Yeah, I no, I started in like middle school, so
Wow, but you were shooting in middle school?
I was shooting in middle school because the like Nintendo DSi
Yeah.
with the little camera. I was shooting on that as a kid, and I was like, "This is kind of fun." So I got a camera
Damn,
for like the holidays, and that's when I started shooting.
Damn, bro, you're a pioneer. That's crazy. I
Yeah.
mean, what, like, back then on Instagram, I mean, it was like, what was it, easier to grow?
Yes, there was like pages that would there was a lot of like photo feature accounts. So if
Mhm.
you got featured on one of those, like you would gain 5K, 10K overnight. And so growing was much more it was just simpler, and also there was like more of a appreciation for like photo and art back in the day versus now it's just like short form video.
That's interesting you bring up those whole pages, because that, I guess, that was a big growing, sector back in that time. Like, a lot of people would even pay, or you would tag all your
Mhm.
photos with, like, 30 posts of different pages, and some people
Yes.
would pay to post them, and then you'd actually grow that way.
Yeah, I had my own actually where I would like feature people, like starting it out, and
Mhm,
like it grew pretty well, and now I like transitioned it into a magazine. So
mhm.
we like put out articles with like features, and we're doing like a print issue soon. So that like starting off with like just featuring photo, I kind of fell in love with like the curation of like different art, and like it felt good to just like give people like a platform.
Mhm.
So that's like the origins of it, but those pages would like change your like following like crazy. It was kind of cool.
I mean, it's kinda crazy how, a niched page with, like, 50K, could get you that following back then, but now, a celebrity's account with, like, 10 million followers only gets you, like, 8 followers if they post your work, which
Yeah, I think our brains are just like done. Like we just don't process things anymore. Where it's like, okay, it's too much content. Like next.
Yeah, I think it's too much. Like, I don't know. I used to use, like, I've had different points in my career where because I've always been the type where I'm like, all right, I don't want to miss out on any opportunity. Like, I want to,
Mhm.
like, capitalize on everything and not be left behind. So there's been times where I, like, kind of do too much, and then I, like, get a little burnt out when I'm, like, posting on everything, but that's like not healthy, you know? And then there's times where I'm like, all right, I got to take a step back and just focus more on the quality and the creative process and, being more selective on where I'm uploading and trusting the longer game. Because I feel like if you're just uploading on everything and then you lose kind of sight of the of your actual creative process and what you're creating, and then you start lacking in the quality field. Um, but then I guess the downside to that is that maybe it's not as easy to grow because they put preference on accounts that are more active. But what do you think about that? Like in terms of quality over quantity and maintaining both.
If I'm being honest, I think finding a good mix of like just having phases where you're like focusing on the quality and then the quantity can be a good like can be a positive thing because you're like still feeding the algorithm and like what they want to see, but you're still staying true to like what you want to make.
Mhm.
um it's like you just have to find that balance in your content, like how much you put out and like what you put out. And honestly, I think the videos that perform the best for me is when it's like a meaningful like message. Just learning how to like profit off of, like, if I'm doing one shoot, how do I make 4 videos out of this, and like how can I keep it going, like interact with the comments to just make it like a little series.
Yeah.
Those that gives you both the quantity and the quality, and like just have to think about content in a way that's like, how can I make it like keep it going? Nothing has to be like a one and done type of video. Like
Mhm.
it can be ever going. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I had to change the layout for a second there, you know?
Go ahead.
Keep
Go
it
ahead.
interesting. But yeah, what you said about making sure that it's like meaningful content. I think if I had to give a tip right now on like one of the ways to grow in this change, in this transitionary period and moving forward on social medias and getting your work more out there
Mhm.
is focusing on making actual like content that is helping others or in like either teaching them or kind of inspiring them, um, versus just trying to like, show off, I guess, in a way. Like obviously, like, you know, um, Instagram is more a portfolio, so I'm gonna focus on putting up my main work and not like teaching or giving tricks or whatever.
Mhm.
But like other pages, for example, YouTube, like I've been putting in a lot of work into that, like teaching stuff and giving tips and giving out that information. And I that's why I feel like it's been growing more. And I feel like I've been like my energy, it's like more energy to go into it, but I feel like it's better placed because with TikTok and Instagram, like you do so much and it's such little like compensation for it, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like it's always sorry to cut you off. It's
You're
just
good.
my last point. I feel it's always like a tug of war where you lose followers and you gain a little bit, and it's like then you lose more, and then you have one post that does well, and you gain them back, and then you lose them. You know?
Yeah, I never stress too much about what the like future has for like social media, because it's just like you take it day by day, and like every platform is just like it has it. It's for its own thing. Like even Snapchat, like I share a lot of just like personal life on there, but then like Instagram's like my portfolio,
You
and
still
then
use Snapchat?
yeah, I use Snapchat. Snapchat is popping. Like the amount of money you can make on Snapchat is
uh,
crazy. I think it's the most paying app.
Wait, you get paid on Snapchat?
I don't get paid on Snapchat, but I'm trying to get there. Once you get verified, you start getting paid for your views and your like audience.
Wait, what do you post on Snapchat, bro?
Just anything, like literally 30 stories a day. But have you seen like David Dobrik move to Snapchat? Like he only does Snapchat.
Well, I know people use Snapchat like certain talents or whatever, but I
Hmm.
didn't know like I don't know you were using Snapchat for example.
You got to take advantage of everything. Like there's try stuff out. You never know what's gonna like land or like give you a boost. But I use that's if I hadn't like joined TikTok, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So try everything, and every platform has its own like value. So I try to use everything. YouTube Shorts is really good too for growing, like Instagram, TikTok, all that.
But you never feel, with all these things you use, you never feel like oversaturated. Like you
At
never feel like
first,
it cuts into like your life of actually enjoying yourself doing things that are off of screens as well.
No, I found a really good balance where I'm like, I can enjoy life and make time for content and like in a way blend the two together.
Mm.
I feel like I have a really good like, I'm not gonna be on my phone today and just like hang out with friends, go on a walk, whatever, whatever. And then I have days where I'm like, today's like content day. I'm gonna film 2 videos, put that out. It's just about balance. It's like definitely a journey. You're not just gonna jump on the platforms and be like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing, but it takes time. Once you find it, it's like perfect.
But you don't think it affects the time that you're able to put into your creative process?
No, because it's like social media is my job, so it's like a priority in my life.
Mhm.
And like so my job has to do with my creative process, so it intertwines.
Well, would you say your job is social media or a photographer, or can they be the same thing? Like,
They can be the
what's the
same.
difference with being a content creator, a photographer, or can they go together?
I think they can go together because I get asked like, "Oh, what do you do? What do you do?" I always say like I'm a photographer, but I make like content
Mhm.
about photography. It's just like it's such a weird mix, but yeah, it's like they can both coexist since it's like you're creating in both ways, like photo and video, they're both creating, so it's just like yeah, I say I'm both, just depending on like what I'm getting booked for.
Dude, and, you were saying how once you get verified on Snapchat, it's when you can start making money.
Mhm.
It's not like YouTube where it's like a certain amount of watch time to start.
I
You can
don't
start
think so.
making.
From what I understand, like my at least friends that I know, once they've gotten verified, they start getting like a check. So
Did you during the time period where you were, like, doing stuff as, like, an Instagram ambassador and all that,
Mhm.
when did you get verified on Instagram? Like, back then?
No, no, no. I got verified through the like Meta subscription.
Oh, for
Girl,
real?
I bought that shit. Yes. It's helped me so much. Like just
Hey, yo, for real?
reaching out to people. Like my account is my business. So I need to invest in my business and just like messaging people, being on comments. I've actually gotten like gigs from commenting on like editors' accounts and them just
Uh,
seeing my name. Um, it's like
so
kind
you
of
would
I should
recommend it.
what you say?
You would recommend it.
Hell yeah, yeah. I mean, it's like, people put a lot of value into that little blue badge. You
Mhm.
kind of have to like adapt to it. And I don't think it's like a bad thing to invest in your business. And I treat Instagram kind of like LinkedIn, where I'm like, when I'm posting on LinkedIn, it's like just being visible and being outside and posting things gets you booked. So I use Instagram in that same way.
And
Like,
you use LinkedIn too?
hell yeah. Bro, LinkedIn,
Bro,
I got a booking last week. I went to LA for a booking and she messaged me through LinkedIn.
bro, this guy's on every platform, yo, what?
It's fun. I love using like social media. Like it's just like, and also LinkedIn, it's like all the just like corporate like business people on
Yeah.
there. David Urbank?
Yeah, yeah,
He
I
posts
thought
all
it
his
was Urbanke, but yeah.
or bank. Oh, that's
I
cool.
don't I
Yeah.
don't know how you say it, I'm saying it could be
Okay.
Urban.
Well, he posts all his work on LinkedIn and
Bro?
yeah, it goes viral like 4K likes and shit. I'm like, okay.
Dude, what? I mean, I'm saying, like, I was doing that for a little bit too because I like to try it out, but it's just, like, at
Mhm.
a certain point, it's like, in my view, it's like, I gotta pick and choose my top ones and then focus on those versus doing a little bit of everyone because then I get too scattered, you know?
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
and
about
then
that balance.
and
Like,
I feel like when I'm really working on projects that require my deep attention,
mhm,
like, I had, like dude, when I was using TikTok, mostly was during the pandemic too, right?
mhm,
But it's because nobody was really shooting. And so I had all that time. And I was at the beginning, I was like mixing it up, doing stuff with outfits like randomly, like, like, and that's what helped me start growing.
mhm,
But as I started working again and like, the industry started reopening, like I don't have as much time like in my life to like, you know, do both where I'm like not where I, 'cause I don't know if I stare at my screen for too long, I also start feeling weird. Like, are your glasses blue light protected?
they're not, but I've definitely limited my screen time. Like, I'm not on my phone all the time, even though, like, online it can seem like it,
Like, what's
but
your
I can
screen time,
make
bro? Like 15 hours a day?
hell no, 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 like, maybe, like, 5 a day.
Dead
I
ass?
Yeah, I post what I need to, and, like, that's that. Like, you kind of have to make it seem like you're present
Uh,
without being like 100% all the time.
damn, that's a good tip. I'm more of the one who like I'll post it, and then the whole meme where it's like I'd be looking through my stories like I'm a fan or something. I don't know what comes next.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be scrolling on my stuff and be like, oh, that's cool, that's cool.
No,
And
yeah, you have to like double check shit. But like if you look at my comment section, that's one thing I don't be replying to people because I'm not like on there. I
then,
post and I go like I'm like okay next.
word. That's
Mhm.
interesting. The reply in the comments is a lot, but I feel you gotta do it to
You
like,
gotta keep that community like people coming back. If someone like has a good impression of you, they'll be like, oh okay, they're cool. Next, like
yeah,
let me come back.
especially the ones who are always there. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
you gotta
Yeah,
show love to the people. You know what
exactly.
I'm saying?
It's important. It's important.
Damn, bro, that's crazy. So what would you say? How have you seen over the years the tide change on social media? And like, what do you think? Because I feel like we're in a very transitional period now, like right now.
Mhm.
And I can't imagine, like at least we already have a following, like we've gotten in at our times and have a better kind of foundation.
Mhm.
I couldn't imagine a young buck, getting into the game right now, trying to
Mhm.
figure out where to start. Because I feel like when we were doing it, at least we knew at a certain point we'd start getting likes or whatever it is. But right now, I feel like I don't even know if they have that. They can even imagine that because nobody like not. It's harder to get all that stuff. Like, how would you recommend or suggest for them to get started or grow their accounts?
It's definitely harder because of like the timing. But
Hmm.
it's not impossible because I've seen it. I've seen new creators pop up every like couple months. But I think it's like inspiring knowing like the creator economy is growing. Like money wise, it's like a $500 billion industry.
Hmm.
So like just knowing, keeping that in the back of your head, and just doing what makes you happy. Like make content that like genuinely fulfills you and share that online. Like I don't know. I think that's the best way to like go about it. Like if and you take it day by day. Like don't over stress about oh I need to like pre-film all these videos for next week. Wake up like if you have some time, record your outfit, like share what you've been making, and just like it just starts like that. That's how I think we both started, just little sharing little like things that we're passionate about, and it should spiral like naturally. Like once your community finds you, you'll just keep it going. Like keep pushing, keep like doing your thing.
And you've seen when would you say was your peak, and on what platform, or I guess a mixture of them?
I think TikTok was definitely a big like up because there was a lot of like just people at home, and I talked about this, but there's like I went on the app, saw like transition videos were a thing, and I incorporated like photography with like transition videos. It was a weird mix, and I felt really weird making those videos. I was like, what the hell? Like this is weird. But I think it was like an original idea where
Mhm.
like people just fucked with it and were like, oh, like this like I'm used to the transitions, but I'm not used to seeing a photo on the other end. So like just like being original, like coming up with new ways to make put twist on trends or put twist on things that already exist is a
Mhm.
good way to grow and like just pioneer in like the space you wanna get into.
Yeah, I feel you do a really good job at being able to, transform still image content into like
Mhm.
video content, and
Yeah.
making it kind of fun and exciting and genuine.
Thank
Uh,
you.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, which is like really important in today's world, especially as an artist, Uh,
Yeah. And I
and
think just I have fun doing it, so it like feels natural. But if it's ever forced, I feel like I'd have to take a step
you take
back
a
and
break.
take a little break and be like, what am I doing?
You take breaks sometimes, like self-audit?
Definitely. I think like this past October I didn't post for a month just because of
Yeah.
like personal life was getting in the way. And I just wasn't excited to make things. But like now I'm back. I'm posting like 4 times a week. Like, yeah, it's just like all about balance and like making sure you're happy with what you're making at the time.
And you never feel like, because I guess if that was your peak, do you think since then, I guess, has your engagement been coming down a bit? Has it been slowing down since the peak of it?
It
And you
goes up and down with
since the
like
main peak.
what'd you say?
Since the main peak, it was like during what, like the pandemic, you said?
Oh yeah, since the pandemic. Yeah, it's definitely gone down since. But that doesn't like make me lose hope or anything, because social media is going to be here for a couple more years. So I'm like, if I make something cool that just blows up, like that's exciting.
Well, I think for everybody, like I think everybody, like even huge creators have, all been like losing engagement
Mhm.
slowly over time. But did you have periods where, you would work on something for a long time that you were really proud of and really happy to share and you put it up and, it was a bust?
Yeah, definitely.
And how how do you handle that, bro?
Just move on. I don't try to overthink things as much anymore, because I'm like, if it flopped, then that's just God's way of telling me I need to like do something else. Like it's just like not that deep. Like social media is not that deep. If a video does well, then it does well, and you keep doing the same thing that did well. But if it does bad, then it probably sucks. I don't know. Like,
That's interesting. I feel like for me, I had a interesting social media timeline because
mhm,
I started like I'm originally a photographer. That's what I do,
mhm,
and I had already shot my like kind of my job that kind of legitimized me. Like I'd already been verified as a photographer, but then during the pandemic, I signed with an agency as a talent, and because nobody was shooting, and they were like, "Yo, this is like the only way to grow your Instagram. We need you to start using TikTok." So I was like, "All right, whatever." I started
mm,
trying to use it, figuring it out, and but like I said, I didn't have a good idea of how to, make still images into video content and make it fun. So a lot of my stuff at the time was just like my day-to-day life, like with my friends I was living with, the stuff we'd go to, fashion events, like a lot of my outfits, that was like, as a hobby, I flip clothes and like and buy them and stuff.
mhm,
And it kind of grew another side to my brand that people were following me now too for like another thing that was like my image, I guess, and my outfits and stuff like that and whatever. But then it was like weird and it was stressed me out for a while because then when I started shooting again, like when the industry was like coming back to life and mixing together those things of those content things, I was like, man, like if I post one thing, then I'm losing followers for the other. Or if I post the
mm,
other, then I'm losing the other. And if I post too much of myself, then people forget that I'm still a photographer. People are like, "You're still shooting," and I'm like, I can't have that because that's what I really do.
mm,
Everything else is just an added bonus. So that would kind of get me down because I feel like every time I would post, I would make one side unhappy and I'd lose followers. But
mm,
but then now, after time, now the way I view it is like I focus more on making sure the quality is there. And whenever I post, I know I'm happy with what I posted. And then I
mhm,
don't really care how the engagement does. Because at the end of the day, I feel like Instagram has transformed into a portfolio,
mhm,
And then TikTok, whenever I post, it's like I have more fun with it. I can post whatever. I'm not too strategic with it anymore. Some periods I post more, some periods I don't really post at all. But then YouTube is where I've been putting a large amount of my focus and energy because yeah, it takes a lot of energy and it's probably like the hardest one, but it's also the one that I feel like has the most reward and I can also show more, not only like give useful information, but also show my personality more on,
mhm.
like
Which
and
is important.
yeah, and I feel like with Instagram, it's a little hard. Like sometimes when people would only see my post and not know me, they'd think I'm usually serious, but then they'd meet me and be damn, like you're not like that, and I'm like okay. And then for TikTok, it's like it feels a little bit too, like scripted sometimes. It's like it's not hard
Mm,
to be candid, but with YouTube, I feel like it's a platform that I can better be myself, and also give better helpful like information and content to people. So I feel like that's why it's been a positive thing. Yeah.
yeah, no, bro. Every time I'm like posting my voice on my Instagram stories, it feels like a voice reveal every time, because I'm like, I never talk on this app, but like on TikTok, that's all I do.
I'm dead.
It's just like every platform is just like has its own thing. Yeah, people, yeah, and like I do too as a consumer. Like I go to YouTube to hear people talk and like hear more of like who they are, like raw,
uh
versus like I know TikTok's edited down like cuts every 2 seconds. I know what I'm getting. Like I know where to go for what I'm getting. So that's just like you just gotta, yeah, make content for each different thing that you're passionate about.
Yeah, I was saying, like I feel like I see the big difference from like the time where I would feel like I was putting more effort and time into making content that I thought would get more of a reaction or a
Mhm.
positive, response versus like the time that I spent actually just becoming better and growing and learning more and putting the time into the creative process. But what's it called? But going back to the whole thing about like somebody starting out in this day and age, because people have asked me recently, and I like think back to when I was starting out, and it's changed so much. The landscape since after the pandemic and the economy, and now this transitionary period of social media. Like, what would you recommend them from base zero, like to start off, like a photographer and artist who wants to use social media to like stand out or get their name across? Because like you said, bro, like it's important. Like you get jobs on social media. Like just
Mhm.
the other day, like, and my YouTube isn't that big. I just started it. I got a 5K job from just my YouTube videos because the SEO popped up, and it was like something random, but it was a good job with a good client. And yeah, and like obviously TikTok and Instagram have, over the years, like brought in a lot of opportunities and
Mhm.
essentially like kickstarted my career because when I started working with Winnie, which was like my first thing ever, like for the Met Gala, which ended up being like, what led to my big job that like legitimized me.
Mhm.
They found me through Instagram when I had no idea who she was or what the Met Gala was or any of that. And a ton of clients just been random Instagram or whatever it is stuff.
That's
So
dope.
it's obviously important. So like how would you, recommend somebody from base zero, no foundation, get into it?
I think first thing I do is find the people that inspire you, like photographer, whatever, that are already making content. Kind of study what they're doing, and then create your own, like whatever you're making right now. If you're doing a shoot next weekend or painting something, like show the process, and then like take inspo from them, put your own twist into your own videos. But just like, yeah, take that step where you're like, you have the app, you're following all the people that inspire you. Like, stop following those cat pages or like those car racing videos. Like, just follow the people that inspire you, and then like from there, just take it day by day. Like, if I'm making a paint today, let me record the process. Let me like show, even if it's not finished, like talk about what I'm thinking or like my struggle. People love people love seeing people struggle online. So if
I
you're
mean, bro,
struggling,
it's funny you mentioned that because
uh,
actually, hold up. Let me
go
bring my
ahead.
board over here. Hold up.
Go ahead, go ahead. No worries.
Bro, it's funny you mentioned that because I have this written here on my whiteboard. It's the universal themes that get more like they get more interaction
Mhm.
on from people online for like content stuff. And it's like, yeah, like you said, one's controversial, one's relatable, one's aspirational, one's like love and relationships,
Mhm.
success and failure, life and death, and adventure.
Yeah.
That's what gets people like, to engage more and whatever.
There's a lot to tap into, but literally like the video of me getting hit by a car or like me forgetting like a battery during a photo shoot, like those videos do the best, and it's just me struggling or like something bad's going on. So and share anything. Like people will
Yeah,
find
but
things
you're good at that,
whatever
bro.
you're doing.
Like, I'm funny in real life, but it's harder for me to make it because I feel like I don't, there's a funny moment, then you gotta be like, oh, it already passed. Now you gotta pretend it's good or something. I
Mhm.
feel like you're funny and in the video and in real life.
Thank you, thank you. I try to keep it like real. I don't know. I don't think like overthinking it. Yeah, if it passes, I'm like whatever. But I think also like voiceover and shit, like you can replay the moment back in a way, like just storytelling, like make it like interesting. It's good. Sometimes it's okay to like I don't call it lying, I call it storytelling. So if something just makes the story more interesting, it's like, oh, like I tripped on the way there or something, like like just make a story up, like have fun with it and like
Like yesterday, I was at an event, right?
uh-huh.
But I had Trader Joe's dried mango in my pocket. So I was like, "Oh, man," like, I was like, "How fun it'd be if I'm eating this at the event?" And I'm like, "Damn," when the hors d'oeuvres are bad or whatever, right? But then I was like, "Oh, man," like, then it's weird because unless, like, my friend happens to, like, record me while I'm eating my mangoes, then I gotta, like, be like, "Yo, bro, like, take my camera," like, and
Oh.
then it's like
You should have done it.
I mean, I couldn't do it because I ate them before I got there. But I'm not like I can't like I only have genuine reactions when it's a genuine moment. Like I can't
Gotcha,
pretend it,
gotcha.
Then it would be like, oh, haha, like damn, got me. But
No, I've trained my brain to like just record or like ask someone like, "Hey, can you hold this?" And my friends know like when I say like, "Can you like do this?" They know like to be like a tripod and just like film what I'm doing because I know I can make content out of anything.
yeah, damn, that's crazy, bro. I
Oh, man, you eating it before you get there. That's so funny.
was dead. So what platform would you say to start off with though for somebody?
TikTok. TikTok's a good platform to start off in. At least
Agree.
that's since that gave me my peak, like I know how it works. And like you can't get that same reach on Instagram or like YouTube. Like TikTok's just different in a good way.
I agree. If I was starting out, like, I mean, I think you need an Instagram as like a portfolio.
Hmm.
I mean, I would still recommend having a website portfolio, but
Hmm.
like if it's just to grow, I think TikTok would be like the way to do it nowadays.
And I've seen photographers just grow or like yeah, photographers grow off of being funny or like fashion or whatever, and then pivot it into their work,
Hmm.
which can be good. Like I don't know, have also if having different like niches is definitely okay. Like just start on TikTok and see what hits. Like yeah, because I wasn't always doing photography before on TikTok. I was doing like I was making AR like filters or like just doing like story times of different things, and
Mm,
that those helped me grow as well. But then when I pivoted into photo, it was like seamless where I was just like mix and matching, and
yeah.
then I just stuck with it because that's what I actually want to share online.
Damn, that's crazy. And I mean, and you said you told me you weren't with your agency anymore, but when you signed with them, it was originally because they found you on social media.
Yeah, they found me on Instagram, and they were a photo director agency, so they saw my work and then signed me in 2017.
Damn. And you think that helped propel you forward?
Yeah, 100%. It was also like I was like a teenager and just didn't understand anything, so it helped me like it motivated me like landing a gig with like Netflix or Converse. Like that was like, oh, like this could
That
be a
was through them?
yeah, that was from them. And like I was like, oh, this could be a career. Like these are like actual brands. Like let me push forward. So it was a big motivation and a big like reassurance.
And how old are you when that happened, bro?
What'd you say?
How old were you when that happened?
I was 16.
Damn, when you signed with them?
Yeah, when I was signed with
How
them.
old are you now? 21?
22.
Damn, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's
What?
crazy.
Damn,
I
we
just
got
think I like what'd you say?
a tadpole. I said we got a tadpole, bro. That's crazy.
I just like I just knew I loved photography, so I was doing it for like maybe 2, 3 years just for fun. Like I
Are
was just
you
like,
even a Gen Z? Or are you like the next thing after that?
no, I'm Gen Z. I'm Gen Z. I'm Gen Z.
Nah, because I'm actually Gen Z too, bro.
You are?
I'm the first year of Gen Z, yeah.
No way. Wait, how old are you? 26?
I'm 26, yeah.
Okay, I googled it.
But I feel like my age group, it's a mix of a little bit of mix of characteristics, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a weird time to grow in like social media, but I'm grateful it like happened that way because
Uh-huh.
without social media, I don't think it would take longer for me to like achieve the things I wanted to.
It definitely helped propel you, right?
100%,
Yeah,
100%.
I think so too. I think it definitely was one of those marshmallows in Mario Kart. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy how everything changes over the years. But so what do you think is coming next though? Because do you think Twitter is like a dumpster fire now? I mean,
Mhm.
I never use that to be. I'm
I
more of
use
like a visual guy than like a words guy. But
Twitter's
or
good.
TikTok has had a lot of instances where they say it's not going to continue with the government, and Instagram
Mm.
obviously has had a ton of issues itself. Like, what do you think? Could you see any of these platforms falling off, like Vine, or just disappearing, or something coming out that would eat them all up? Or what do you think the next few years will look like, and what you'll be doing to stay on top?
I don't think the apps now will die because they're so like important in today's culture, like Twitter for journalists. I use it too for photos, like,
Hmm.
and the posts do kind of good sometimes, but yeah, all of the apps are really important. I don't think they'll die. I
Uh-huh.
think there'll be new apps like in the future where they'll incorporate the new like 360 cameras or like VR, like that will help like artists and creatives like expand their mediums. I
Yeah.
like Meta sent us like last Christmas they sent us like a VR set.
Meta sent you that?
Yeah, they sent us a
Wait,
VR set.
what? Why did they send you that, bro?
Well, I get PR from Meta or like different brands sometimes. I don't honestly. I don't. I was like, what the hell? Like, why is there a? I was confused, but I realized they sent it to us to like experiment with it because there's so many cool like apps on there to like 3D build and like stuff like that. So I think there'll be like apps for social media that incorporate all those new like platforms in it somehow.
Uh,
I think that's the future, but I don't think anything will die. Like even Snapchat being around still, like, and they found a new like wave to ride on.
uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm on everything. So
Bro, yeah, that's crazy, bro. You need some blue light glasses, bro.
I do I do need actually I want to get some new glasses, so I'll look into that.
Dude, when you were with your agency, what was your cut? 25.
They took 25% of my
Yeah,
cut.
that's a standard.
Yeah, it's a standard, but um I don't know. I think if I were to work with anyone, I'd maybe do 20%.
I mean, I
Maybe.
think it's the standards like 20 for models, like 15 for hair and makeup, and like 25 for photographers.
Mm. And also like I don't think my checks like at the time were like good. Like so I just got I feel like I got left with not as much as I deserved. So like it was like a learning process. Now I know how to like what to ask for, like requirements, but yeah, finding new management is going to be like a process. I don't want to rush into anything. I don't want to join a roster just to join a big agency. Like I want someone that
Yeah.
believes in me and like propels me forward even more.
Yeah, it's all I mean, yeah, it's more about it's more about the actual agent than the actual, like they say like you can be an IMG, but you can get what's it called when they put you on the wall, shelved. You don't want to get shelved,
Mhm. Yeah, exactly,
a
exactly.
huge roster, but then they just disregard you because of that, you know?
Exactly. That's not
But
a good.
actually, dude, since this video is pretty long, I mean, the first half, we like restarted it pretty much. But anyways, if anybody actually got to the end of the video, I haven't told anybody yet. Um,
Uh-huh.
but I actually just signed with an agency a couple of days ago.
No
Uh,
way.
Excited about, yeah, because that's been one of my big goals as a photographer. So,
Uh-huh. Are you
yeah.
is it something you can like what agent or like what are you doing with them? Is it like a photo or talent?
As a photographer,
Okay,
because
so
I was with Elite as a talent for like 2 years,
oh,
but
that oh,
it's like that was just like, during the pandemic, like, extra things that would come along, but I'm a
mhm.
photographer, you know?
That's
So,
awesome. That's the congrats.
I
That's
left
really
like
cool.
3 months ago, and then now I just signed with a really good photo agent or artist agency,
Uh-huh.
and, I'll just tell you that, but you gotta keep your eyes peeled for the big announcement when it comes out on social media.
That's exciting because you make a lot of work that's like for editorial, for campaigns, and it looks really good. So like, I think agency will help you, and I feel your excitement. So I feel like you chose the right one.
It was definitely like a really long building, like, relationship. It wasn't
Mhm.
like an overnight thing.
That's kind of nice. That's nice.
Yeah, and yeah, like you said, like, yeah, I think it'll definitely be a big opportunity, positive one, and also the photographers they rep. I know 2 of them, and they're, like, fantastic, and they work a lot, so
Awesome.
so thanks for coming on, bro. We've really been graced by your presence and vast knowledge, because I feel you're like a pioneer and original, social media photographer, but also, a fellow Hispanic photographer and Gen Z guy.
Gen Z, you're cutting it close.
I'm dead. But so let us into some sneak peeks into some projects you've got coming up or working on, if you can let us know.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me, by the way. I think in the upcoming months, I'm definitely gonna keep focusing on my like social media, putting a lot of content out on TikTok, Instagram, And I run a magazine, so we're working on our first print issue.
Mhm.
It's called Unia. We put out like 2 to 3 articles a week about music and art and culture. But we're really excited to like just put out the print issue. We've been working on it for a while, like planning shoots and like having all these creators and musicians be part of it has been really like exciting.
Uh,
So that should be out like March or April. But yeah, that's what I'm working on and I'm excited for that. It should be really, really good.
you have any cool projects you're waiting on to release to come out?
A few partnerships with like brands. I don't know if I'm allowed to say. Like I didn't read the contract.
Yeah, don't
Um
say it.
but yeah, just a few like social media partnerships on like my Instagram and TikTok in the upcoming 2 months. So those should
Damn,
be
all
cool
right.
because they're brands that align really well with my like photo world.
Uh,
Mhm.
damn, all right. That boy's making that guap. That boy's leaving this interview, walking to the bank. All right, that's great.
Please.
Damn, all right, bro. Well, it's been a nice time. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed and catch you on the next episode. I'll put our I'll put Alexi's social links and all that below in the description. So see you guys there and check out his work. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, okay.
Hello.
Bye.
Bye. What's up, guys? If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you don't know how much I appreciate and how helpful your support is and how long of ways it goes. We are getting this much closer. We're actually really close now to getting this to getting this channel monetized and reaching the watch hour times. So keep watching, keep streaming. I really appreciate it. And I'm putting out more and more videos that will help you guys. And I genuinely try to find content that I think will help you. I just wanted to add two more things before I officially end the video that came up in my mind while I was editing and thought were very important to add in. When I first started Instagram and posting myself and my work, I was very, I didn't want to include images of myself. I wanted to be strictly my work. I didn't want, photos of me to get mixed in with my work. And I wanted people to follow me just for my work and to just see my work. And that was it. But nowadays, more and more, it's really important to post yourself occasionally mixed in here and there. It doesn't have to be, as much as I do. It doesn't have to be just like here and there every few months or so. Throw in a couple photos of yourself. Throw in at least a photo, something cool like personality pics. People really want to see who you are and kind of what your vibe is. And it really goes a long way in booking jobs and booking clients, and it's really a key point nowadays to just show your personality, show who the person behind the camera it is. I promise you, people look for it now, and that doesn't mean you have to post modeling photos or anything ridiculous. Just like I said, post pics of you with the camera, post behind the scenes photos, you shooting. It doesn't have to be just you posing on a wall or some nonsense, or any lavish outfit or any of that. And the second thing is, when it comes to social media, you really never know who's watching. So keep your eyes, just be conscious of what it is, of how you're posting and what your feed looks like in your grid, and archiving old photos that don't reflect or represent your work anymore, because you really never know. I've had Billie Eilish in my stories. I've had, really anybody. It could be Kim Kardashian's manager or an associate. You really never know who's watching, and following your steps in your career and just waiting for the right opportunity to work together to come up. And I've seen that time and time again with friends, with myself, and I will continue to see it. And, just wanted to come in and share these last two tips. And thanks again for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. I want to make more videos like this. And if there's anything more you want to talk about, anybody else you think I'd be great to bring on the channel, leave it in the comments. Let's continue the conversation. Let me know your thoughts on this whole social media conversation. And see you on the next episode. Have a great day, you guys. Bye.